Anything else with the county commissioners? We'll move on to the school board. And then at the end, we'll go back and share some more things.
Hopefully I can find this. On the school board, when you talk about problems, you talk about issues. Nothing we deal with is simple. And we make a mistake at times when we try to deal with others and make very complicated things simple. You talk about the property tax issues. School boards' property taxes are calculated differently. Okay, and that's very important to remember. You're going to see in some of these slides, but the debate that goes on today, the state of Florida is required to give a flat rate amount of $7,000. Where that $7,000 comes from is not important. Not to them. We all get the $7,000. If no one in this county paid property taxes, the school board would get $7,000 per student. That's what we would get, which makes things different, and it puts us sometimes not in competition, but our priorities are different. What the school board's priorities in the counties and the cities, the $25,000, we're still going to get the $7,000. Now, locally, we do have the 1.5 mil, so it does affect us. We levy that 1.5 mil. But basically, as a school board, we're told what to do by the state. The state says, if you're going to participate in this program, you're going to do the required local effort. You have seen that in Tallahassee going on right now. The debate between the governors and some of the proposals is the increase in funding for education. Does it come from the local taxpayers, which is RLE, required local effort? And that's based simply upon your rollback value. Leave it alone, let the property values go up. Tagging on to Mr. Williams for just a few minutes. The ones who are hurting are the I-10 corridor interior districts. No numbers you will see up here would be different in Holmes or Jackson or Gadsden. Leon's a little bit different. You jump to the other side, the same thing with Franklin and Taylor. All of these interior counties on I-10 that don't have salt water that fixes things are hurting. This recovery that has been talked about has not got here, has not got to us. So, by all means, this stuff is, we're going to go through it. It's complicated. If you have detailed questions, see me. I will come see you. I will see any group I have all the time when it comes to explaining this stuff. But it's very important as we go forward, and for the benefit of the school board, this is complicated stuff. And I'm trying to talk down, but you will see shortly. I don't have my glasses.
It's the very top.
Okay. Here we go. Try it. Which one?
It is complicated.
Next slide. Yes, next slide. Can you do that? There we go. School taxable value. You wonder what's dropping in this district? 7-8, we're at $1.1 billion. Okay, this is school stuff. Very close to where the county is. 16.7. Look at these drops as it goes through there. This is the money we operate on, and this is where our LE drops. This is a 10% drop right over here from 1.1 billion, actually it's at 20%, to 907 million. We have just bubbled in the last 2 years up. The rest of the state of Florida has seen an increase. This is what we live off of for our 1.5 mil money that we do with interior projects that come forward.
Just that, and just to make sure everybody understands, that's total taxable property value in Washington County. Just so everybody understands. That same number where it went down from 908 to 907 million for 907 million for the Washington County. In Walton County, it went up 1.5 billion, excuse me, 1.3 billion in 1 year. Okay, so that their increase was up almost double what our total property value are.
So when this is a 20% drop. The county faces the same thing, and of course the city is in there with it. None of us are exempt from this. But this is what we have to do. This unrated FTE, you asked what $7,000 will cost you. In 2007, Washington County School District is at 3,500 students. We're now at 3,100 students. We've had a drop of about 400 students since that point in time. 400 students is bigger than Vernon Middle School right now. Okay, so you ask what keeps you awake at night. When these numbers start dropping, and you go ahead and multiply you about 7,000 by that, You're saying, well, that's about $2.8 million. That is correct. Now, the complicating factor is this is unweighted FTE, this is head count. We have another calculation that comes back in on weighted FTE. And the fact of the matter is we're operating on about $1.5 million operation funds based on school student drop in this time period. The Department of Community Affairs, DCA, or they're the ones who took over from the DOE, do projections. And our projections, and I have followed them for years, but the problem is they're right. Most of the time, the numbers that they are using are correct. We are supposed to experience another decline of about 50 students next year. Now, we have bubbled out at this moment. When I say that bubbled out, we have leveled out. We did not have the decline that they had projected for this year, which was 50 on top of that. We've actually have held stable, so that's as good as news as I have seen since I've been involved. This just came in about Wednesday on the numbers that we had done. So this is where our funds go down. You say, well, how do you do that? I had about 525 employees. Back about 10 years ago, we were way up there. We were in competition with West Point and DOC, who had the most employees. That's not us anymore. We don't replace retirees. We have other things that's in place. And you understand, when I talk about cutting costs, our budget is 80% people. We send people home, or they retire, or we don't replace them. Those are the jobs that get lost. Okay? And this is what we do. Student enrollments right now, we're at 3,100 students. Vernon High School used to be about 425. Chipley High School, 512. When the rural leagues got started, which is the Division 1A, Chipley High School had to get a waiver because they had 612 students to get below the 600. That was about 5 or 6 years ago. They're now at 512 students. Okay. Always the question is, where do they go? So, understanding, when we talk about population decreases in the county, there's something in this county that masks lots of changes, and it's not a negative thing as long as you know it. When the census figures come out, they count every person who's in your county. That's what they're trying to do. We have a prison sitting down there in Greenhead that has over 2,000 inmates. That 2,000 remains constant with everything else in its shadows. If you look at Washington and Holmes County and compare the two of them, we have been right between 24 and 25. They now have actually reflected in the census figures a drop in Washington County population. They had Holmes County at 21,000. And the difference is how we get counted with those prisons down there. And it's a huge thing. You see it is a federal problem when they start doing numbers for congressional districts. When you start, the county has to do with their districts, they can get nailed. Well, you got to do this. Gulf County has been in several lawsuits on single member district stuff. We have to deal with the same thing. We're to divide these numbers, we'll do this. But we're looking at 3,100 students right now. Those are the schools that we have that is there. Virtual courses and dual enrollment, we're a 21st century school district. We try to offer everything in the world. 15, 16 on the virtual courses, 368. It costs us $100,000 to offer those. These are things the district pays. Dual enrollment. If you have a child and they're a high school student, I buy their books, I pay their tuition. Don't let them graduate early. Don't let them quit. Don't let them do anything. Let them continue to go to school until they graduate from high school. I'll pick up every bit of their bills. Okay? Truly. I mean, that's just, and I deal with parents at times who aren't aware of that. But these are things that's gone beyond a lot of what we see. The virtual courses that cost us $100, you got to have one when you graduate. Everybody does. We try to prepare our students for the future. They want them to do it. We allow anyone who wants to take one. If they fail a course, you have to have a certain number of hours. They can go back and get that. And we have labs in both high schools that will provide for this. We have people who take care of that. Dual enrollment, we also, remember I said we buy their textbooks. That's a year's worth of books we buy from them, $27,000. We cut checks to Gulf Coast, we cut checks to Chipola. We do every bit of that. We pay about $76 per credit hour. For any student who wants to go that's one of ours, they have to be admitted to the college, they have to do everything. And whether it's face-to-face or online, we take care of that. These are expenses that we're required to do and that we do. We have students who can graduate with an associate's degree, 2-year degree, before they get a high school diploma. You want cost savings? There's your cost savings back to families and different things because we bought it. The books, the whole 9 yards. And it's not because we're good people. So Within our high schools themselves, we have high school academies, and we try to offer specific programs for those who may want to stay in the community or get them ready. Everything we do in the Washington County school system, you preparing for the future. That is what we do. That is what has to be in the things in there. So most certification, those state certification numbers that you see, at the end of the class, they take these certification exams. These are not something that we create internally, or we have an instructor sitting there, or these are state mandated exams that comes from the state of Florida. It is recognized by the state of Florida. So you can have some CNAs and different things that actually get licensed by that. Project Lead the Way, we have it at both high schools. Principles of Engineering, it's a 4-year program that we have. We can take them in that. And let me really stress this again. This stuff involves rigor. You work with this stuff. This isn't something that we create. This is not internal. These are hard. And we have high school students today who want to say, when I'm a senior, I want to be able to relax and get ready. It doesn't work that way. Okay? But there are those that do that. But when you get in this Project Lead the Way and some of these, and you hear students talking about them, these courses here are rigor. These aren't makeup. These aren't let's fill in the block. These are true things that will prepare them. If they want to go into any type of area with engineering and stuff, it gives them the basic what they're looking at. It's a 4-year deal. They need to complete 3 of the 4 courses, and then they get the Project Lead the Way certification. These are our students that we're wanting to get ready for other things. We've been very successful on the industry certification for Autodesk Inventor. It is a program that is used on that. We had 32 pass. It's a 90% passing rate. Remember, we're graduating about 80 students at Vernon High School. We're graduating probably about 110 at Chipley High School. So when you start talking those number of students, that's a positive. It's a good thing that we want to offer to them. We are now, next year, we're looking at implementing, when I say looking, we're planning for culinary arts. It'll be a 4-year program. At the end of that 4-year program, there's 2 industry certifications that they will receive there. Some of the surrounding counties have it. It's very successful. Students can walk out of there, hospitality, all these, and they have the certifications that's available and to them, and they can go. Like I said, we prepare for the future. It gives them at least a base step in the right direction. You know, they still have to go out. It's still a big world, but at least we're trying to get them ready for that. We also have other industry certifications they can earn through classes at school, especially in the FBA and business computers. This Microsoft industry certification. This stuff that you're looking at here and within the school district and how education works is not reserved strictly for juniors and seniors. You have 8th graders who pass some of this stuff. They can start in the 8th grade if they can handle the rigor on the certification Microsoft, and I guarantee you that they will use those skills from that Microsoft industry wherever they go. Whether it's a student, whether they go to an office, whether it's work, it doesn't matter what it is. Everybody these days better have PowerPoint, Word, and Excel. You better be able to do them. That's what life is. That's just where we're at. We also want to add 2 additional as they come up. The certification that Microsoft, the 2 instructors we have between Vernon and Chipley, every student they get them to pass. And it's not because it's a test they created, it's because what they require of them. And when the students go in there, they understand this is what it's looking at. Agri-technology, the ag department, or our ag programs. If you go to Chipley High School, they have an ag program that is second to none. The certifications, the 15 that's passed, that was because they did not offer it in the fall. There's 2 different certifications, and they offered the other one first. But this 15 that passed with an 80% passing rate, we have over 50 students between the 2 schools who will attempt this certification. And the truth of the matter, probably at the end of the day, of the 50, 48 of them will get it. And that ag technology, Mr. Williams can back this up, those who deal in the agriculture world, no one says if I want to go into farming and they think it's about making a tractor run. It's all about computers, it's about crops, it's about production, it's about one of the issues of dealing with fertilizer, what do you do with runoff. It is far beyond what you used to think what FFA was about. In Chipley's FFA, if you ever have any time and you want to get involved with the group, they're incredible. Vernon's is not as much. Chipley has a fully functioning farm. Vernon is more on the horticulture side, smaller. They don't have exactly the same layout as Chipley, but they both do extremely well in those programs. The weighted funding, and just like I said, the board and I don't do this for our students because we're loving and caring, it's because we're told to do. These weighted funding for in certifications earns approximately 600 per student that passes the exam. Teachers get bonuses when they pass this, and I'm trying to remember what group it was that gave Chipley FFA. They had gave them some gift, and the president of the FFA said, we're going to take this money, and we're going to put it to our certifications, and we're going to turn it into about $40,000. She was not bluffing. They took the money that was given, part of the certification. These tests aren't free. We pay for the certification exam, and then we put part of that program back into the actual program where they earned it at. The teachers earn bonuses on top of that, so it's a win-win when we go into these programs. So they're there. A lot of times we don't see that. We get busy. If you're dealing with students and those in the community, it takes work on their part, but it also helps the programs. That is the K-12 world. The Florida Panhandle Technical College, which is across the road, this is what they offer in their certification. All of these in adult general education, and these are broken down into categories. You got architecture and construction, you got art, AV, technology, communications. Any of these that you're seeing up there, or most of them, have state certification to go, have state licensure. You have other things. I know, like the electrical, we have a one-year electrical program. It actually takes longer than that to be a licensed electrician, but it allows you to go forward. So those in the community can do, if they want to come back, if they want to study. We have the adult education part. We have business management. We have health science. You've seen the LPNs. You've seen all of those that's out there. We have a full cadre of certain health science classes that's offered here. We have cosmetology. We have information technology, the applied cybersecurity, network support services. Those programs, that information technology is comparable with anything that Chipola or Gulf Coast can offer. I'm not taking a shot at them, but I'm telling you, the same programs that are there. Those programs, information technology changes about every 6 months. So going into a 2-year program or a 4-year program on that, by the time you finish, you're way behind. So these are very fast-paced sources, but it gets their foot in the door to what they need. We have law, public safety, security. You have seen all of them, the corrections, the law enforcement, the crossovers. We have the manufacturing piece in which we have started trying to do with the electrical and instrumentation. Through Workforce Florida, Mr. Ellis, the board, the Manufacturing Council, there was a program that come out that Senator Gates had sponsored last year that we're continuing to use on some of this. Transportation, distribution, and logistics. All these things that are here, and one of the things the technical college is very quick to respond to, if you have a program, you had an employer, you had someone who wanted a cram course, technical college will work with you and they'll create one. We are working with dump truck drivers, with a couple of contractors. They come in, quick 3-week refresher. Do you even know what a dump truck is? Do you know the brake system? They go through the whole thing, about 3 weeks and they're finished. It's not 8 hours. But the employers are taking care of it. They send them here for refreshers and making certain that they're okay. Our transportation piece that is there also works with our bus drivers and works with the actual diesel mechanicing piece that's there. This, moving to where we're at, to where we're about to go. This is an aerial of Kate Smith, the old piece of property. Those who have not been by there, I would suggest you drive home that way or go by in the morning. Every portable is gone. The site is pretty much cleaned up of anything that we can do out of there. All those X's that you see are buildings that we have a bid out as we speak right now to be removed. We'll open that bid in about 2 to 3 weeks. We'll award a contract for the demolition of the rest of that. On this part, that what you're looking at, that red line that's over to the left that comes across there, is actually something that we're going to be able to release. That entire square. If I can find it. I can't find this one. You're asking about economic and development. That red line right there, this is the whole parcel that it sits on. We own everything from this red square back to this. From this red line to, if I was to draw a line of what we're going to keep these 2 buildings right here. draw back to this road, throw in all these lots, that's a little over 11 acres. That's right there. The reason that red line is there is because that big tower sits out there and those guidelines go down to right about there. So there is the issue that if you want to sell this, and that is the intention, at least as we speak right now, we'd like to put this piece of property on the market. This is across the road. Where the pre-K and all of this has been cleared out, that little house is still standing. But it is a little over 4 acres. This is after the easements and different things between those two lots. You throw this 11, and there's probably around 15 acres of marketable property that is there. We don't really have a super advanced plan. We need to get cleaned off. We need to make certain we have any environmental issues taken care of. We will have to come before the city. We'll have to talk about a land use change because of how it's designated. And so when that hits the market, that, we'll see what happens on the other part. This is something that we'll have to work closely with the city on. Like I said, the land use change and then the whole thing. Are there any questions? I know I spoke quickly. Yes.
Land use change.
Mm-hmm.
Mixed use, what are we looking at?
That would be something we would probably have to bring somebody in as far as a planner and say what would be the highest and best use of this to sell.
And always you have to have it rezoned before you sell it.
I would think, yes. No one, we could promise you, oh yeah, it's not a problem, you can get it changed.
That's not what the developers want to get.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But that worked out.
So we do have Victor Leo coming over in a week or so with a strategic sites initiative, something that I've been involved with across Florida working on together. We're bringing somebody in to evaluate the tenant, determine what kind of properties you may have in tenant to be used for economic development, economic growth. And this, I would suggest, would be something we need to make sure he's aware of, just so that he can start to look at it. And what will happen is we'll identify first phase projects, in other words, properties that we want to look at and see if what kind of potential they really do have. Then we'll come into the second phase when you start doing some more in-depth analysis of those properties. And then finally, a third phase where you're actually looking to go into a certification process for those properties for development, depending on what kind of development you want to do. And I just say that because this is the type of thing that we need, from our side of the fence, we need to know about because we don't know what kind of use there might be for that.
That's correct.
But we need to have it have it in the database so people know.
And what's important to understand here is that this is an initiative taken by Opportunity Florida. Victor's a very expensive person to hire. He's already evaluated Washington County, and he and I have been in contact. And I think he wanted to come over here the day that I think you all were in Tallahassee and sit down with the county commissioners and show you what his company is determined to be possible sites that you guys, EDC, would want to look at purchasing and making industrial parks. So here's a service that you paid $300 a year for, and you're getting more bang for your buck than you know.
Are there other questions? Like I said, I know I speak quickly, and this stuff is extremely complex. It really is. I'm not trying to simplify or talk down or anything, and I have time, and I'll be happy to meet with anyone or any group that wants to talk about this.
One issue that I want to address is on the technical college and on programs that we offer at the high school. We have a tremendous resource with the technical college right here in the neighborhood. One of the challenges that we face, just so everybody understands, is the only way that they receive funding to help continue to offer that service in that particular program is if once the person graduates, they receive a job in that field within a certain period of time. So one of the problems that creates for rural counties is it narrows down tremendously the number of programs that you can offer and still have jobs available in your community for those people to go to work. So we almost have to create an environment where we say, well, we want to offer these programs for you. There's a lot of technical opportunities across the Panhandle or in other states. But if you do this, in order to get a job, you're going to have to leave our community. And so that's an issue that, again, urban areas aren't facing. If we have students that don't necessarily want to leave the rural area, then the tech college is in a position to where, okay, I can't offer that program anymore because unless I can show that I can put those people to work and actually certify if they get a job, my program can be suspended. So it's a vicious cycle again that we get caught in from a rural standpoint. and one in which, again, it all goes back to the creation of jobs in our community will drive opportunities for our young people and continue to provide opportunities for them to stay home or have other people move into our communities. So again, it all basically goes back to, again, jobs. I'd love to see the legislature create a way around that, an exemption for that, for rural areas. Because again, it creates a dynamic to where if you're going to get one of these higher paying technical jobs, like cybersecurity, but the problem is, how many of our graduates in cybersecurity are going to be able to stay in the Tri-County area? All right? In most cases, they're not. And so, things like that. But should our kids not have the opportunity, if they're interested in that line of work, to be able to get into that program? Well, sure, our kids ought to have the same opportunities as other ones do. So, again, it's a vicious cycle that the rural areas continue to get caught in, and it's limiting the opportunity not only for keeping people here, but also the opportunities that our young people have to work and stay here in the future. So it's just part of the issues.
And let me just add a little other nugget to that piece. Tallahassee's not helping us in the house. When they go away with Enterprise Florida, and Richard can tell you, there is a significant downturn on leads coming to the state of Florida now. As he will tell you from talking to site consultants across the southeast, when they were asked about the state of Florida, about companies, they said the companies are being told by site selectors, you don't want to go to Florida. They're not open for business. That's what this house has done. That's what they've created by trying to defund Enterprise Florida and defund Visit Florida. So, already do we have enough things going against us, but now the state telling us that we don't want businesses coming in? We lost QTR, QRT, these are programs that have been there for training programs, tax credits. If the House and the Senate don't compromise, they're gone. And basically, I'm here to tell you, you just don't have companies looking at Florida like you did over a year ago, 2 years ago. Would that be correct, Richard?
That is correct. We actually had a consultant call me up earlier this year, once the effort started, just to let me know, because I've known him for a while, let me know that he had a project that probably be a good fit for a rural area, but he wasn't putting Florida in the hat because we were just too risky. They couldn't tell what was going to happen with the incentives, and they knew that company would need some incentives to locate here. So we're out of the hunt.
Jimmy, all you got school dance from something good and finish?
Yes, if there's any questions or anything, or catch me.
We'll do some questions if we have time at the end.
Okay.